Hi ladies, we are so excited for our video today. As you can see, we're sitting down, we're relaxing, we're about to dive in. We put out a question to all of you that we wanted to do a Q&A and we wanted to know what you would like to talk about. And one of our most frequently asked questions really has to do with our diet and exercise routine lately, and a lot of you wanted to know more about our LTK conference that we recently attended. So stay tuned because we're going to give you all the scoop on who we saw, what we did, and then of course talk more about our diet and what's been going on in our lives. So if you're looking forward to updates, definitely stay tuned. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please hit that button. It really helps us out. And if you like us enough to watch this video, then you definitely like us enough to subscribe. Okay, so we wanted to get started sharing with you about our LTK conference because a lot of you had questions about this. You wanted to know all the details. So before we get started, we wanted to explain for those of you who are new what LTK is. So LTK stands for Like to Know It, and it is one of the affiliate marketing companies that we work with. So when you see those links beneath our videos where you're able to shop the different pieces, that is one of the companies that provides those links. It's a big company. They do everything with fashion, beauty, home, lifestyle, and they throw this big conference every year in Dallas, Texas with their top performers, and we all get together and it's just so much fun. It's literally the Super Bowl of fashion. We get to meet all kinds of influencers from Instagram to YouTubers, meet up with old friends, and we just really enjoy ourselves. We get lots of great pictures, lots of great swag, and we wanted to share some of it with all of you. So we rounded up some questions. So I'm going to read the questions and Christina and I are going to take turns giving you some of the answers. So the first question that we had that's always a popular one that you guys want to know is, who did we see or who did we meet at the conference?
Okay, so we always look forward to seeing our besties, Lisa from Lisa D1 and Marnie Gold Girl, the Miss Gold Girl. So of course we always love to spend time with them, but there's also some other influencers that we've become really good friends with and enjoy getting to see year after year. So there's So Susie, Stylish Sandy. There's also Jen from Closet Choreography. Who else did we see? I feel like there were others.
We saw Kay from Dress for My Day with Kay. Some of our ladies that we usually get to hang out with didn't come this year, so we definitely missed like Beth DeJali.
I was just gonna say that.
Missed her so much. Yeah. And we missed Lisa J, Amanda Lux Mommy. Yeah. We missed some of our old friends, but we definitely got to catch up with everybody and just see lots of new faces that you know we didn't know, but some really cool panelists actually, like Rocky Barnes from Instagram. I thought she was awesome. So yeah, lots of fun people to see and lots of good outfits.
I know.
Okay, so another question that you guys always love to hear about is the swag. So we get a lot of goodies at these things. We go around to different brand booths, and those brands usually provide us with some kind of merchandise in the hopes that if we like it, we will share it. So it's always fun. The kids always love when we come home with all these goodies. So you guys wanted to know what was some of our favorite swag that we got. So what was your favorite?
Oh my gosh, this year was hard because there was a lot of good stuff. Like we got we were able to order a 2-piece loungewear set from Spanx. I'm excited to get that. Have not received that yet. We also received a puffer jacket as well. I can't remember what was the name.
That was from Aritzia. So you could go online and order, so you got to kind of pick.
Yep. And then of course there was a lot from Tarte. Tarte is always a good one. Tarte is always going to share a lot of good makeup. They gave us like 3 palettes this year, along with a lot of different lip glosses. So it's kind of hard to say because I felt like this year there was just so many good things that they were showing. Lily Lashes is always one of my favorites. I'm always looking to see like what kind of new lashes they're going to give us.
Yeah, there was some good ones. There was even a really nice like teapot from, I forget the name of the company, but it's Mason something. You guys let me know if you know this one. It's a very like bougie, beautiful teapot. We ordered them both for our girls who have apartments now and really wanted those. So that was really, a lot of things were like online ordering. So it was really customizable, which is really cool. I think my favorite is always Tarte. I came home with the 3-palette collection, which I think is part of their holiday collection, and it's so rare that you get those kind of gift sets and like all of them are good, and all 3 palettes are beautiful, stunning palettes. So I really love that. We got a Peter Thomas Roth mask, a gold mask, lots of really good stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Okay, so another question you had was, what do we do at these conferences? So basically, it's kind of like a couple of days, and the first day is usually like a check-in with some kind of party. So that first night we had a quiet luxury themed party, so I'll make sure we insert some pictures there of our quiet luxury looks, and it's just a beautiful like rooftop little cocktail hour party. And then the next day starts the work. So at 9 a.m. we meet in a big auditorium, there's a big conference. We get to hear from Amber Vensbox, which is the founder and CEO of LTK, and she kind of gives us all the company updates and everything. And then we get to hear a lot from a panel of different speakers, which are influencers that are really like killing it out there and doing such an incredible job. They give lots of tips and tricks and all kinds of things. And pretty much that is also what day 2 looks a lot like. And then in the evenings, there are party events. So we also had a frosted glam party on the second night where everybody is wearing their sparkle and shimmer. And then finally the last night is the award ceremony, where it's kind of like going to the Oscars or something. You get all dressed up and some of the top creators receive some really big awards. So yeah, and then we did some other stuff too.
Yeah,
that was off the books.
Exactly. So we actually arrived a day early. So that night we then ended up going out to a dinner with both Lisa and Marnie, spending some girl time, just kind of catching up. And this is the first time we actually did this, where they also have like a luncheon that's organized every single day for us. But instead of doing that, we opted to go with Lisa and grab some lunch over at Highland Park, which is a beautiful like outdoor mall. It was just so gorgeous and really like just soaking up the weather, getting to catch up a little bit more. So, and we also took a little shopping trip as well. The 3 of us.
Yeah,
the 3 of us
really
as well.
fun.
So that was good. So you'll also see some pictures in there. And that's when we also ran into Sandy and also with Jen. So we got to chit chat with them outside. Oh, and we've forgotten Annette. So we also got to see Annette as well there. Oh.
Okay, so the last thing you asked us about LTK was, what was our favorite part? So, gosh, it's a tough one, but I'd have to say our favorite part was meeting up with our friends. So we don't get to see them that often. Yeah. They live in different states than us, so it's kind of like almost like a little bit of a girls trip. When we get to go to this, we get to have some dinners together. This year we fit in some shopping and lunches together. Yeah. That really is, I think, the best part.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now's the part that we know some of you were probably waiting for.
Exactly. We're going to give you the dirt now, ladies.
That's right. These are the questions that I think we've been getting the most lately, and it really has everything to do with diet, some things about exercise. So we're going to just dig in and give you the real truth behind what's been going on behind the scenes. So one of the questions we had was basically like, what made you go on a diet? So I feel like that's good. What was our motivation? What got us there besides going to this conference, which is always a little bit motivating for me. You want to look your best at these conferences. So I know Christina has like some more information to share because she shared with you some of her health journey. So tell those people who don't know what motivated you to go on this diet journey.
And I'm going to try to make this very short and sweet. I swear it's not going to last an hour. So I did see my doctor in January. I took that annual blood test and found out that I've got gravy running through my veins. So my cholesterol is really high. It's ridiculously like dangerous high levels at 272. So he told me, hey, you've had your fun, but now you're older. You got to stop eating the way you're eating. So since then I have gone back in July and I got an update, so I was able to reduce my cholesterol by 35 or almost 40 points. So really good. I'm out of the danger zone. I'm elevated now, so I'm still working my way back down to getting it to a normal, which I think is like 200. That's my goal right now, ladies.
Yeah, you give her charts and graphs and numbers and she's gonna just run with it.
Got Excel spreadsheets and everything.
So she helped to motivate me really, because truth be told, I have had high blood pressure for a while. It is very genetic, but I did have a doctor once tell me like, well, if you lost 5 pounds, you might be able to bring it down a little bit. And I was kind of like, a little insulted by that, but you know, I understand that that is a part of it. So when Christina started going on her health journey, it really helped to motivate me and be like, you know what, I should take better care of myself. Definitely my numbers for everything. The doctor would often tell me, well, you're okay for now, but if you keep on this path 10 years from now, we're probably going to be putting you on a lot of medication. So I know that's not good. I wanted to make some changes. So I did the same thing. I really just tried to, you know, hone in on getting healthy, doing better, and finding a way to like get that down. Now, even with weight loss, I will say that it is genetic because it did not change my blood pressure. I still have to take medication. So weight loss, although it will not solve everything, I do feel like it is helping to maybe prevent the cholesterol going up, the sugar going up, and those things for me actually were really good at this last visit. So he wasn't, you know, warning me anymore that if I keep on this path, I'm not going to be healthy. This time he's like, everything looks good.
Yeah,
so.
and we're going to golden girl it, so
yeah,
I need
we gotta
her
be around
to
for a long time. Okay, so the next question you had for us is, when did you start? So this is like a little bit different for both of us. I would say for me, I want to say it was right around my daughter's like spring break, like Easter time, when I started to tell myself, okay, I really want to start working on this. I really want to start like getting healthier, having some goals, changing my eating habits. I have horrible eating habits. I mean, I really was eating like a child. It was bad. I was not eating like an adult. So I would say it's been probably since about April since I started, maybe April. So April, May, June, July, August, September, almost 6 months actually, that I've been kind of really working on this.
Okay. And I would say that for me, like, if I'm going to rewind it to, you know, where I started, I would say it was actually like a couple years ago. It was that summer before we went to our first LTK. So that would have been the summer of 2002. I'm sorry.
Wow, we've been along
forever. 2022. So during that time, I went ahead and just kind of knew, hey, I've got this big event coming up, and you know, I want to look better. I want to fit into my clothes better. I'm already not making my health a priority. So that's when I actually started to lose some weight. And I would say I lost about 15 to 17 pounds during that time. And then I would say since then, up until this January, I fluctuated probably like 5 pounds, you know, kind of back and forth 5 pounds. And then starting in January until today's date, I've lost like another 15 pounds, obviously, because in January they were like, cholesterol's bad, you got to do something about it. So that's when I was like, okay, and I need to continue, because obviously I was already in the overweight category, and at one point in time was really breathing down on the door of the obese category. So that's where I was with my weight.
Okay, so of course, now that we have kind of shared with you guys how long we've been kind of on these journeys and why we are on these journeys, biggest question we're getting is, what are you doing? Because I know there's just so many options out there now that people are trying different things, and we both kind of have our own methods that really work for us, but we wanted to do this as naturally as we could, as safely as we could. That's why it took a long time for both of us. I mean, when I really think about that, I have been working at this for about 6 months. My total weight loss to date is about 12 pounds. So that's, you know, 6 months to lose 12 pounds. It's a long time, but it's because of the way that I have been doing it. So one of the questions was like what we eat in a day. So I'll start and kind of share with you like what I typically do. Christina has a different method of doing it, and we've really just found what works for us, which I think is different for everyone. Yeah. So for me, it's usually going to be a fasting time from 12 p.m. So lunch is usually my first meal, to stopping myself between 7 and 8 p.m. So that is my eating window that I have. I've never been a big breakfast eater, although I do occasionally have like a bowl of cereal, but for the most part, I try to have my first meal at lunchtime. Sometimes that's as early as 12. When we're working, that can be as late as 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'll have my lunch. And usually my lunch will be something that is relatively healthy, but does have some carbs in it. So it could be like a mini turkey sandwich with maybe some baked chips and a soda, not everyone's version of healthy, but it's not, you know, overloaded with calories. Or it can be something like a healthy salad with veggies and stuff in it. I am a soda drinker, but of course I've had to limit that a lot to like the mini cans. So I'm far from perfect, but I'm definitely improved. And then I will sometimes have like a small smoothie in the afternoon. If I'm really craving sweet, I'll have like a light smoothie from Smoothie King or something. And then in the evening, that's when I try to eat a really protein-filled dinner. So very low on carbs. If I have tacos, I have my tacos over lettuce. I don't really eat pasta at night. It's really like about protein, lots of meat, sometimes some veggies or salad. I'm much more restricted for dinner. And then I sometimes end with a little something sweet, which is usually like 100-calorie pudding or something like that. And that's pretty much it. Window closed, kitchen closed, 8 o'clock, no more eating, nothing but water. And that's kind of what has worked for me and allowed me to still enjoy some of the things that I enjoy eating. So.
Yep. Okay. So I also practice intermittent fasting as well. So when I lost the initial like 15, 17 pounds, the like 2.5 years ago, I really was just, you know, trying to keep that window, a 6 to 8 hour window, and watching portion control, because I like to eat, so my portions are really big. So that's what I was basically doing in order to lose that initial weight. This time, because I was specifically focused on cholesterol, I also started initially with that 8 hour window that very quickly turned into about, I would say, a 3 or 4 hour eating window. So I naturally already do not eat breakfast. I usually would eat lunch at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and just basically kind of pushed that window closer and closer to about 6 o'clock is when I have my first meal. I know you ladies are fainting out there. It's okay. Come on. You can sit back up, because I usually will then snack and eat and all of that kind of stuff until about 10 o'clock at night, sometimes even 11 o'clock at night. Obviously, all rules are broken during that time of the month when, you know, I've got my cycle coming, but that's what I usually do. Is I'll have my meal. I absolutely have, instead of like red meat, instead of like high cholesterol foods, and it's now fish, it's chicken. You know, I don't get to enjoy the shellfish kind of stuff that I had before. I'm also a big like salty, savory kind of person, so I have to really watch the carbs there. So I'll have like a piece of chicken with maybe a baked potato. Pastas are not good for me. I can have rice with some veggies, and then after I have my meal, I'll then have some snacks. So instead of potato chips, pretzels, popcorn, you know, dripping with butter, which is normally what I would tend to eat and snack on at nighttime, I now change it to pistachios. I have a lot of like, you know, high in calorie, but it's good for cholesterol. Hummus with, or guacamole with like carrots or cucumbers, things like that. So it's really hyper fixating on closing the window, and then also good cholesterol foods, staying away from those bad cholesterol foods.
Yeah, it's so funny because I remember doing intermittent fasting like a long time ago, but I would still have the junky foods in my window. Like I would still eat the junk, and it allowed me to maintain a bit just having that like time when you're fasting, but you really can't lose until you start eating like a grown-up, is what I like to call it. So I think for both of us, even though we have different methods, it really comes down to like calories, right? We're not overindulging in like tons of calories and stuff. Lower carbs, we're eating more protein, and just limiting ourselves. Like I'm the sweets addict, Christina's the salty addict, and we both had to really cut down on that. We still found a way to have a little bit, but mine is like 100-calorie pudding and hers is like some nuts or something. So I do think it's definitely making sacrifices.
It is. And I think too, it's also our starting point. So Kelli is petite. I know she, you know, was like, but I still have weight to lose. But I'm like, okay, but our starting point was from a very different area. So I think the first time that I did the fasting, I could just close that window instead of, you know, basically grazing for 12, 13 hours out of the day. If I closed it down to a 6-8 hour window, that was enough that allowed me to lose that first portion of weight and basically to maintain it for the past couple of years, you know, with like a 5-pound swing at most. But now in order to really get closer to what I think is my natural state of weight, That one takes more effort, which I think is the reason why that window had to close, and I have to also be more conscious of what it is that I'm putting in my mouth.
Oh yeah. I feel like the closer you get to that ideal weight, the harder it becomes. So when you have more weight that you're losing, it comes off faster and it's a lot easier. But once you get to that like ideal, it's like your body just wants to hold on to that weight, and it's going to make you work harder and harder. I'm waiting for like when I have to even give up my pudding. I know it's gonna happen. I don't know if I'll ever be able to fully make the sacrifice, but so that is what we eat in a day, basically.
And I just want to say this really quick. So when I say, and when Kelli say ideal, it's not like what our goal weight is. It means like that natural weight that your body kind of wants to plateau at. It just makes it harder for your body to lose weight. And of course, we are getting closer and closer to menopause, so I do think that that's another factor that we're having to deal with.
Yeah. Okay, the next question was one that I think a lot of people think about, which is how do you handle going out? So I'll let you take that one first, because poor Christina had to watch Lisa and I have lunch. I gotta say, this girl has the willpower. I've never seen anything like it. Like, I just felt guilty. I was like, let me scooch away from you. I don't want you to smell my lunch. And she's like, I'm fine. I've got this.
Yeah. It's so funny too, because I had visited my parents recently, and my dad, one of my favorite things to eat is like fried clams. Like, so my dad's from like New England, and he was like, I feel so guilty eating these in front of you. I was like, Dad, honestly, it's not even a big deal, because when you do intermittent fasting, I had read about it. I wasn't really sure if it was actually going to happen until I had tried a few years ago, but the hunger signal will also dissipate. So for me, I actually don't get hungry anymore. I don't have that sensation, that feeling anymore. And so when that 6 o'clock time frame comes, then I know, okay, I have to eat something. I have to make sure I have a good amount of calories, because I also don't want to affect my metabolism as well. So sorry about that. So let me rewind back. So when I go out to eat, no, I was not staring at Lisa and Kelli's plate and like drooling on the side, like, I'm really not. I'm not really hungry, so I'm actually like doing all the chatting while they're actually eating. But when I go out there, I really try to eat obviously things that don't have a lot of butter, no red meat. I'm staying with chicken. I'm staying with grilled fish. I'll eat sushi, lots of vegetables. Sometimes I'll have a big salad that has some kind of protein with it. And for me, I have to have some kind of carbs. So that could be a sweet potato, a baked potato, some kind of rice. It's just not taking up like 75% of the plate like how it used to in the past. Yeah, and I'm not a soda drinker, so I always drink water naturally. That's just how it's always been.
Yeah. When I go out to eat, so I eat a lot of meals out, I would say. Like, my family, we eat out quite a bit, especially on the weekends. I also eat lunches out quite a bit. During lunch, I'm a little bit more flexible, so I will have something like a sandwich, a salad, things like that. A little bit of carbs. I definitely try to get a little bit of carbs at lunch, because I know I need some carbs throughout the day. For dinner, I really have to be very careful with my ordering. So we're still going to our favorite restaurants. I do try to avoid Mexican, because that's the one place that gets me. I cannot say no to chips and salsa. So I just avoid.
Or charcuterie boards.
Yes. We had a little problem with that when we were in Dallas.
We did.
That's a tough one. Did. But usually when we go out, my family, we love to eat Indian food. We love to eat Cuban food. Lots of different ethnic food. And so I do eat a lot of seafood, which sometimes it's shellfish, which isn't always the best thing to eat too much of, but I am foregoing a lot of rice and a lot of pasta. So if I get something like an Italian, the zuppa de pesce, I eat all the seafood, all the pesce. I eat all the seafood, and I don't eat the pasta. I
None of the zuppa?
None of the zuppa. I'm like, is that what the pasta word is? None of the zuppa. So I do things like that. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I eat the protein. I don't eat the carbs. So when we go out for Indian, I'll get my chicken tikka masala, and I will forego the rice, forego the naan bread, and just eat, a nice hearty portion of the chicken with the spices on it. So I do still enjoy a lot of my favorite foods, but I have to, leave a lot of the carbs on the side, and that's the way that I can kind of make it work.
So if there's any sort of message we hopefully are giving to you ladies, it's one size does not fit all.
Yes,
some of you ladies might be, I have to wake up, I have to eat, in the morning, and so maybe even intermittent fasting might not be the answer for you, but we're just kind of showing you that, you can kind of really make whatever your journey looks like, really make it to what makes it easiest for you, because the way that we're eating now, Look, she would love to have her brownies, for breakfast in the morning, and I would love to have like butter popcorn at, my fingertips whenever I want. But we've basically really kind of strategically tried to attack this issue with what is the path of least resistance.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. Okay, so this is a question that we get a lot, and I feel a little guilty giving the answer because it's not like you know what? I feel like we need to have a little disclaimer here, which is we are not nutritionists, we are not doctors, we are not fitness experts. Therefore, this is only our opinions. Some of you who are more experts in those fields, you're probably going to cringe at some of the things that we do because I am very aware that my way is not the ideal way. I still drink some regular soda. I still have some sugars. I am by no means trying to pretend like I am, doing this the perfect way and super healthy. I'm just letting you know, like, I'm healthier than I was. Because if you saw my diet before, it's greatly improved, and I am seeing the difference in the cholesterol, the sugar number. So I'm healthier than I was. I'm not where I want to be. I'm healthier than I was 6 months ago. So anyway, the question about exercise, what do we do? What is our exercise? Not much. Not much. I don't enjoy exercise. I know I need to do more of it. I am by nature a very active person in that I'm never sitting down. So my family does joke about that. Like I'm always, even if I'm talking on the phone or something, I am pacing up and down. I'm going up and down the stairs. I'm always moving. So that's kind of exercise. And I do an occasional like 8-minute arm workout that I like to do with no weights or anything, but that's about it. I mean, if I'm not just doing things naturally, like going for a walk with the family or running errands and stuff, I am not a gym person. I know one day I will embrace it, but I haven't yet.
So I am a sloth by nature. I am the definition of a couch potato. I did play sports for many, many years when I was younger, but those days are gone. And so now my favorite exercise is this. What's on TV or this. Let me send a message to Kelli because I got to talk to her. So that's about as much exercise as I'm going to brush my teeth. That's a good workout, a little arm workout in the morning. You're doing this. I'm brushing my teeth for 60 seconds. So yeah, unfortunately, no working out. The doctor did tell me in July, though, he's like, hey, if you really want to get these numbers down, because I think you've done as much as you can do with diet, you need to start doing some like strength training, like exercises.
Weight bearing.
Yeah,
I got that speech too.
Yeah. So have I done that yet? Not yet. Am I going to do it? I have every
That's right.
good intention of doing it. So I will try. I will try to keep that promise.
That's right. Progress over perfection.
That's right.
That is the goal. Progress over perfection. So I feel like that's step 2. We're starting with step 1.
That's right.
We're doing the best we can here.
Yes.
And I think that's a message that everyone needs to hear. Here's the thing that I have learned. If you try to dive in like 100% with everything, I'm going to eat perfect. I'm not going to have any of the things that I enjoy. I'm going to work out at the gym 5 to 7 days a week and stuff.
Yeah.
You're kind of setting yourself up for failure. I feel like I've watched it happen in my own family and everything where, those intentions are great and they might last for a short time, but it's very hard to maintain that if that's not really like your natural way. So for me, I feel like I'm going to start with the changes that I know I can follow through with and then hopefully build on those changes.
Yes. Lean into it.
Okay, so that takes me to the next question, which is what would be your biggest dieting advice for other women?
Gosh, other women. Okay, my biggest dieting advice for other women. I think really finding your why.
Good one.
I think really finding your why. I had for many years, and Kelli can attest to this, talked about I need to get healthier. I need to, stop eating the way that I'm eating. And the motivation at that time was, and it's not a wrong motivation, but it was because like summer season is coming up, or because of our job, it makes it easier also, to kind of find things, maybe that I like if I'm a smaller size or if I lose a little bit of weight or whatever. But those reasons weren't big enough for me in order to stick with it. And so the why this time was really different. It was really different because I just kind of envisioned me right now. This I felt like is just a little tip of the iceberg. You know, I'm not 50 yet, but I'm already having cholesterol issues. What is my health going to be when I have grandkids, or when my husband's retired and we want to be able to travel? And I don't know, it just kind of made a big picture. My parents are really good with their health, extremely good. Like, they exercise every day, they go to the gym, they eat healthy, they have like a whole tub of like supplements that they take every day, you know, so they have been an excellent example, you know, for me. One that I just chose to kind of look at, but not really incorporate into my own life. But I think I knew it was going to take, and I always knew this, I always knew it. And I mentioned it to Kelly before. It's not until I see those really bad numbers on the chart where the doctor's saying like, hey, you got to do something about it, that I will then feel like I can't keep getting away with treating my body, you know, the way that I have been. And the great thing is that now some of that negative self-talk that I used to have before about telling myself I was going to commit to something and then not doing it, those voices, I can now like respect myself, I can trust myself. So that's just been one of the positives. So I would say really figuring out what your why is.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good one. Gosh, it's so hard. I feel like all of it in a nutshell is kind of the advice that we would give. Yeah, I think your why, and then the second part would be figuring out your how, right?
Yes.
So everyone's how is going to be different, just like ours is different. You've got to find something that works for you. What works for your friend might not be what works for you. Yeah. Not trying to do everything all at once, you know, and be so hard on yourself. And I think the best thing I had ever heard was progress over perfection. Like, don't think that you have to be perfect just because you maybe go to a party or something and have a slice of cake. Don't say, oh, that's it, I'm done, I've ruined it, I'm off my diet, I cheated. Yeah. No, it's just a little piece of cake. Like, you're not going to gain 5 pounds from a little piece of cake. Just get right back on. So whether it's a vacation, a celebration, we're going to have those slips and everything. That's part of life. And I also don't want to live my life in complete neglect all the time. I want to enjoy my life. And then you just get back right back on, you know. And if I have a meal that is like really heavy and carb heavy and sugar heavy, then I just tell myself the next meal is going to be all about the protein, because I would say protein is a really good piece of advice too. Lots of protein.
Absolutely. Even we mentioned it just very briefly here. So Kelly and I, we've been very, very good before going to LTK. And then one night we went out to dinner with Lisa, and she ordered our charcuterie board, of which she had just a couple of bites off of it. And Kelly and I proceeded to, everything on that charcuterie board was everything I'm not supposed to eat. There was honey, there was jam and jam. Oh, yeah, I mean, just cheeses, so all bread. Those things. Yes, every single thing on there I wasn't supposed to eat. But I did. I absolutely did enjoy it. Kelly did as well.
I did.
And because we've been so good, because we've really been keeping that promise and commitment to ourselves, when we both came back, we didn't gain weight, we actually lost weight. Kelly lost a pound, I lost half a pound, and that wouldn't have been the case when before it was always, I allow myself to have whatever I want, whenever I want, how much ever I want.
It's so true. I've definitely looked at this trip and thought like, okay, I definitely didn't do perfect. I had some little yummy things here and there, but what I would have eaten like last year on this trip. So they always have a huge breakfast buffet, and I would have had the breakfast sandwich and the sausage and all the things, and I would have, you know, eaten the charcuterie board. I also would have probably chosen a different dish that was like a pasta dish, and then I would have had dessert. And so it's just those little changes, they do add up.
They do.
You know, and it takes time. Sorry. I feel like when you're doing your journey in a healthier way, it's going to take more time. So, I mean, probably most people didn't even really notice that I was losing weight, because it's 6 months to lose 12 pounds. It's not that noticeable, but I feel it. I feel it when we put on the clothes, when I try things on. I feel healthier, I feel better, and the numbers are starting to show it as well. So
yeah, that's true, because what is it, like 15 pounds over 9 months? Yeah, I don't think anyone would say like, wow, that's great, the pounds just melted right off of her. Christina's like, you know, hitting it, firing away. No, you know, it's just, you know what, Kelly, it kind of said to me also in the very beginning, you know, when I would have those definite like mistakes that would happen and I would have something, she was like, you know what though, Christina, this is the way that we're going to live our life in the future. We're going to just make smart choices now going forward in the future. So it's okay, because if we, have a little something here and there, that's just, we're not going back. We're not going back to, being disrespectful, especially for me. I really felt like I was being extremely disrespectful to my body. So
me too. I felt like I was treating it really nice.
I
all
know.
The sweets, but probably not so much. So, and then my last thing that I think I would tell everyone, which I feel like is going to be a big one for us going forward, because someone I think asked, how do you plan to maintain or whatever? And we're still on the journey. Like I'm not 100% where I want to be, but we're getting close to there, and I'm definitely feeling good. But I would say my biggest advice for maintenance would be weigh yourself. I mean, I don't know. Some people might disagree with me on this one, but for me, weighing myself every day and being comfortable looking at that number, and if that number does go up because I was traveling or something, I don't beat myself up about it. I go, okay, time to get back to the plan, time to get back on board. Because if you don't weigh yourself, it's so easy to just ignore it, because I think that most of our clothes, the way that clothes are with a stretch in the jeans, and like we wear looser tops, it's super easy to feel like I'm good, my jeans still fit. But I can tell you, my jeans fit me whether I am 10 pounds, 15 pounds bigger, 10 pounds, 15 pounds less. I'm still wearing the same size. I really haven't changed sizes, except with a couple of exceptions. I'm usually kind of in the same size. So going by that isn't really going to help. It's that scale. That scale tells me what I need to know.
Absolutely. And the scale that I have is so good, you guys. So it actually doesn't only tell me what my weight is, but it also lets me know my body fat percentage and my muscle mass percentage, along with bone density and like water percentage. So it was really good, because sometimes that number didn't change. However, I could see that the percentage of my body fat was going down and my percentage of my muscle mass was actually going up. So all of the other factors that sometimes aren't necessarily reflected in the scale can also, be given to you by just some of these other different, like parameters that are on some of these scales. So I love that. We'll actually put that down below.
Yeah,
so if you're looking for something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that we've answered all of your questions. I hope you all enjoyed this. And like we said before, we're not trying to, act like we're experts in this field or tell you this is what you should do. We're just trying to help if you are looking to go on a health journey, lose a little bit of weight, get those cholesterol numbers down, whatever it is. Hopefully something we shared today might be helpful to you. Definitely leave us a comment down below if you have any experience with, maybe what you did to lose weight, or any advice or feedback. We'd love to hear from you guys, and let us know if you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. We'd love to share more. We really enjoy doing these Q&As, and we've really enjoyed sharing all of this with you, and we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.